Auxiliary power unit start comes in.
DLT 3-way top max. Copy.
Pilot Tom Hendricks reporting that the auxiliary power units look good. The systems will be activated in 30 seconds at T-minus 5 minutes. These auxiliary power units provide the power to the hydraulic pumps, which control critical tasks like the movement of orbiter elevons, the rudders, the speed brake, the landing gear, and the main engine thrust vector controllers. Mission Control has just transmitted a signal to start Columbia's onboard flight recorders.
Genesis go for orbiter APU start. PLT OTC perform APU start. APU starts and work.
Test.
And CDR reconfigure heaters. CD roger and work.
Test conductor Mike Key has given pilot Tom Hendricks the go to start the auxiliary power units, and Hendricks has flipped the proper switches. Commander Steve Nagel has reconfigured Columbia's heaters for launch. Just 4 minutes, 30 seconds away from liftoff of Columbia and the Spacelab D2 module.
APU starts complete. Copy that.
T-minus 4 minutes, 14 seconds, a final purge sequence of Columbia's main engines will begin. The test of Columbia's flight controls is now starting. The engines should be being gimbaled. Also during this time, the aero surfaces such as the rudder, elevons, and speed brake are being cycled through a programmed test pattern to verify that they are up and ready for launch. T-minus 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and counting. Columbia's main engines are now positioned for launch, and pressurization of the external tank is underway. T-minus 3 minutes, 3 seconds, and counting. Momentarily, the retraction of the external tank's gaseous oxygen vent hood should begin.
Pressurization. PLT OTC, clear caution and warning memory and verify no unexpected errors. Turn the fault.
The gaseous oxygen vent hood is being retracted away from the external tank. And orbiter test conductor Mike Key has requested Tom Hendricks to clear the ship's caution and warning memory system. That task is reported complete with no anomalies. T-minus 2 minutes, 5 seconds, and counting.
And flight crew, OTC, close and lock your visors and initiate O2 flow and have a good flight. Good work, and thank you very much. Genesis go for EP, LH2, pressurization.
The astronauts have closed their flight visors on their helmets in preparation for this morning's launch. Replenishment of liquid hydrogen to the external tank is also being terminated, and Columbia is disconnected from all ground fuel loading systems. T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds, and counting.
1 minute, 30 seconds.
T-minus 1 minute, 15 seconds, and counting. The ground launch sequencer is now verifying that Columbia's 3 main engines are ready for ignition. The heaters around the joints of the solid rocket boosters are being turned off. In another 15 seconds, we'll get the command for auto sequence start.
Give us a go for auto sequence start.
We have a go for auto sequence start. The baton has been passed from the Launch Control Center computers, and Columbia is now in charge of its own launch countdown.
20.
T-minus 20 seconds. Columbia's vent doors are being moved and configured for flight. T-minus 15, coming up on a go for main engine start. 12, 11, 10, T-minus 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Solid rocket ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of Columbia on a voyage to the future.
Roll Columbia.
Roger, roll, Columbia.
Houston is now controlling. The roll maneuver underway and complete. Columbia is in a heads-down position on course for a 28.5-degree flight, 160 nautical mile orbit. Engines aboard Columbia now beginning to throttle down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle in the lower regions of the atmosphere. Columbia is now just 1 nautical mile downrange from the launch site at an altitude of 17,000 feet. Accelerating now through 680 miles per hour. Engines are now beginning to throttle back up.
Columbia, go at throttle up.
Go at throttle up.
All 3 engines are back at full throttle. Hydraulic systems and electrical systems performing well aboard Columbia. Altitude 64,000 feet. Range from the launch site 8 nautical miles. Columbia is now traveling 1,700 miles per hour. The next event is burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. That comes at about 2 minutes and 4 seconds. SRB separation is confirmed. Columbia is now 29 miles from the launch site at an altitude of 173,000 feet, traveling 3,000 miles per hour.
Columbia, performance nominal.
Performance nominal.
Columbia, 2-engine Banjul.
2-engine Banjul.
Performance thus far in the mission has been as expected, and Columbia can reach Banjul, the TAL site, in the event of a single engine failure. However, all 3 engines are still performing at full throttle. 3 good hydraulic systems and electrical systems aboard Columbia. The orbiter is now 55 nautical miles downrange from the launch site at an altitude of 248,000 feet, traveling 3,400 miles per hour.
Got Goldstone yet? Columbia, we're getting good video now, seeing the door opening.
And Houston, Columbia, we'll be ready to talk to the mission manager anytime they get the loop up. Just give us a call.
We copy, and we'll do that. We'll give you a heads up when we think we have it sorted out.
Okay, thank you.
This is Mission Control Houston. The crew on board Columbia is waiting to get a congratulatory message from mission manager Hauk Dodek. However, over in Germany there are some things that the Payload Operations Control Center is still trying to work out so that their voice loops are activated are in the proper configuration. Meanwhile, we are getting downlink television from the laboratory module, and we can see one of the crew members through the hatchway that leads to the tunnel crew cabin. It looks like this crew member is Mission Specialist Jerry Ross, who is our payload commander for this flight. Now inside the mock-up and testing out weightlessness for the, now inside the module and testing out weightlessness for the first time is payload specialist Ulrich Walter. Both Walter and Schlegel are members of the German astronaut team.
And Columbia from Detro München, how do you read?
This is Columbia, how do you read?
Read you 5, and we have again Hauke over here, and he's going to contact you right now.
Yes, Columbia, this is Mission Manager, how do you read?
This is Columbia, loud and clear. How are you doing, Hauke?
I'm just fine. Steve, take my congratulations and the congratulations of the whole team for the very good and very on-time launch which we had. And for the total crew, I have a message here of our Chancellor, Helmut Kohl. Let me read that first in German, and then I translate it in English. The message reads as follows. Sehr geehrter Herr Schlegel, sehr geehrter Herr Dr. Walter, Ihnen und der gesamten Mannschaft an Bord der Raumfähre Columbia und der Commander Steve Nagel gratuliere ich zum Start der D2-Mission. Sie sind sicherlich froh, nach vielen Jahren intensiver Vorbereitung und nach den eingetretenen Verzögerungen nun mit Ihrer Arbeit im Orbit beginnen zu können. Die D2-Mission ist ein weiterer Meilenstein bei der Erforschung und friedlichen Nutzung des Weltraums. Deutschland bleibt damit ein kompetenter Partner in der Raumfahrt, die künftig noch stärker als bisher durch internationale Zusammenarbeit geprägt sein wird. Ich wünsche Ihnen viel Erfolg bei der Bewältigung des anspruchsvollen wissenschaftlichen Programms und eine sichere Rückkehr zur Erde. Mit freundlichen Grüßen, Helmut Kohl, Bundeskanzler.
Columbia is making its 14th flight on STS-55.
This is PI. It looks very well. A high density of protoplasts. Could you move a bit and focus?
Mr. Hump, welcome, and I'll move down the picture and I'll focus through a little bit.
This is fine. But it looks all the same. I think you can choose any part you want to. Stop it here and now focus a bit. The other direction. This is fine now. This is very fine. No, that's too much. Just in the middle somewhere.